Hello and welcome to Fact Vault, where we explore mystery, history and hidden knowledge. Today we will be going through the Sumerian king list. Let's dive into it. Imagine a time so ancient that it predates even the earliest recorded civilizations. A time where kings ruled for tens of thousands of years, and where the divine and the mortal were intertwined. In today's video, we'll dive into the Sumerian kings. Could these kings have lived for thousands of years, or is there a deeper meaning behind these extraordinary claims? What do these bizarre reigns really mean? Let's find out. The Sumerian kings list is one of the most perplexing documents from the ancient world. Dating back over 4,000 years, this cuneiform text lists the names of kings who reigned over Sumer, modern-day southern Iraq, in ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. What makes this list so mysterious is not just the names, but the incredibly long reigns of the kings, some of whom are said to have ruled for thousands of years. Yes, you heard that right, thousands. How is that even possible? Let's explore the text and uncover some of the possible meanings behind this mysterious artifact. The Sumerians believed in the divine right of kings, and these ancient rulers were often seen as intermediaries between gods and men. The kings list gives us a glimpse into their belief system, where time and divinity were often intertwined. But the most curious part of the kings list is the immense lifespans attributed to these rulers: 28,800 years, 36,000 years, and beyond. It's almost as if they were not bound by the same limits we are. Was there some supernatural force at play, or were these numbers simply symbolic? Let's explore in more detail. The Sumerian kings list begins with Ululim, the first king of Eridu, said to have ruled for a staggering 28,800 years. Following him, Alongar ruled for another 36,000 years. As we go further down the list, the reigns continue to increase in length. How can this be explained? Could these kings have had lifespans that far surpassed human expectations, or are these numbers symbolic? The text also claims that after a great flood, the kingship was descended from heaven, leading us to ask, was there something extraordinary about these figures? Were they gods, or were they granted lifespans beyond those of normal humans? As we continue reading through the kings list, the names of other kings, like in Menliana and in Mebergizi, who are said to have ruled for thousands of years, show the continuation of this mystifying tradition. Their reigns span much longer than any human lifespan we can comprehend. The sheer length of their time in power raises some intriguing questions. These kings were not just rulers, they were divine figures whose reigns reflected their eternal connection to the gods. But were they truly immortal, or were they using some sort of symbolic device to indicate their influence? So, what are the possible explanations for these seemingly impossible reigns? Let's break down some of the most widely discussed theories. Some scholars believe that the long reigns were meant to be taken literally. Perhaps these kings were indeed divine or semi-divine figures who were granted immense lifespans. If this were the case, it would change our understanding of ancient Mesopotamian history and challenge the conventional limits of human biology. They may have been viewed as near immortal beings, with their reigns stretching far beyond those of ordinary men. Another explanation is that the long reigns are symbolic, meant to convey the king's significance rather than their literal lifespans. This was not uncommon in ancient cultures, where rulers were often depicted as being larger than life, embodying the divine or eternal forces of the cosmos. In this interpretation, the long reigns represent the enduring nature of their influence, not the actual years they lived. The Sumerians might have been emphasizing the power of their rulers to transcend time and history itself. Some theorists suggest that the Sumerians may have used a different system of counting years. It's possible that the years listed on the king's reigns were not solar years, but rather a different unit of time, such as lunar cycles or a symbolic measure of time. This could explain why the reigns seem so impossibly long to us today. Perhaps these kings' reigns are not actually their lifespans, but instead refer to an era or period defined by their influence, even though they may have lived for normal lengths of time. Another theory links the kings' long lives to the Great Flood story in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where gods and kings are said to have descended from the heavens after the flood. Some believe that these kings were portrayed as divine beings whose extraordinary reigns were a part of their celestial nature. This flood could also symbolize a cosmic event that reset the order of kingship, giving rise to new divine rulers. A more speculative idea suggests that the Sumerians had access to advanced knowledge or technologies, possibly even extraterrestrial influences, that allowed them to extend their lives in ways we can't yet understand. This theory, though not widely accepted by mainstream historians, adds an intriguing layer of mystery to the already enigmatic Sumerian kings list. Were these kings bestowed with knowledge that made them long-lived or immortal? One of the most fascinating aspects of the Sumerian kings list is the mention of a flood that wiped out the first set of kings. This deluge parallels the story of Noah's Ark in the Bible, as well as the flood myth found in the Epic of Gilgamesh. According to the kings list, after the flood, the kingship was descended from heaven, signaling the arrival of a new line of rulers who would continue the legacy of those who came before. Could this flood have been a real event, possibly a massive regional catastrophe? Was the destruction of the old world a way to reset the kingship, allowing new rulers with divine connections to take charge? These are questions that continue to intrigue historians and archaeologists alike. Could the ancient flood story be a metaphor for a great societal collapse that took place around the same time? It's possible that the Sumerians linked the arrival of their kings with the cosmic order, using these flood myths as a way to explain divine intervention in the transition to a new era of rulers. The flood may have served as a marker, ushering in a new era of kings whose reigns were considered sacred or eternal. As we delve deeper into the Sumerian kings list, we can't ignore the connection to ancient astronaut theories. Some have suggested that the Sumerians may have had contact with extraterrestrial beings, who provided them with advanced knowledge and technology. Could the long reigns and the descent of kings from the heavens be a reference to these otherworldly visitors? While this theory is often dismissed by traditional scholars, it's still a topic of fascination for those who believe that ancient civilizations may have had access to technologies and wisdom that were far beyond their time. It's a theory that aligns with the idea of gods coming from the sky, providing the Sumerians with knowledge that allowed them to achieve extraordinary feats. The Sumerian kings list is more than just a historical document. It's a window into the ancient mind, reflecting the Sumerians' view of kingship, divinity, and the cyclical nature of time. Whether the kings were divine figures, immortal beings, or simply symbolic representations of eternal power, the kings list gives us a glimpse into a culture that viewed time and leadership in ways that continue to puzzle and fascinate us. Despite the many theories, the mystery of the Sumerian kings list remains unsolved. Could the answer lie within the text itself, or are we looking at a cultural myth that was simply too grand to be true? One thing is certain. The legacy of these ancient kings endures, continuing to spark curiosity and debate even after thousands of years. The mystery of the Sumerian kings list is far from being solved, and there are likely many more secrets buried beneath the sands of ancient Mesopotamia. What do you think? Were these kings truly divine beings, or is there another explanation behind their extraordinary reigns? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into history's most mysterious and fascinating topics. If you want to learn more about other ancient civilizations and their secrets, check out our other videos. Stay tuned for more incredible mysteries waiting to be uncovered only on Fact Vault.